Hi everyone, welcome to the Noticast, the Auto of Tech Gist in Africa, where we talk about unpopular opinions, the trendy stuff on Twitter, insider gist of founders, community leaders. I know everything between everyone is shying away from. Today we'll be having an amazing conversation around what is remote work, remote work versus office, what's the best model, is remote work even remoting, right? And before we dive into this whole conversation, I have my amazing co-hosts with us. I have Jamin, who is a dev advocate and a technical writer, and he said to do everything in between. So
a little between.
bring us jobs. He's active.
Bring these active like Shivita.
Exactly. Then apart from that, we have our other co-hosts joining us for this particular session. Marvis Dorsa is a product designer, and I think sometimes on LinkedIn we saying he's a design engineer.
No understand.
Very confusing.
No more. We guys
What do
collaborate.
Okay, now collabo. Okay.
What do design engineers do?
What does the engineer do?
After you design, you build your design.
Asakba,
You don't
understand.
You gotta build
Engineer, don't
Alright.
But yeah, let's keep it going. So today, on this conversation, we're having an amazing guest who is a product designer, or I would say even a design lead, right? Who has been in an office setting, has been in a remote setting, has been in an hybrid setting. So he's the best guest for this particular conversation. So anyway, what kind of conversation go, you get the experience to run the conversation, and we'll finally understand.
Are you sure about that?
Finally understand again, which make more sense. So he's not a person than Kutajbaba. He's a product designer, and
Senior
at
man.
this point, he's not a design engineer like Marvis. It's just a product
I'm a
designer.
UX UI designer.
You are a UX designer. There's one battle that will never get at
UX
the end.
UI product. What's the difference?
What's different? I think at one point we should have a conversation on UX UI design and product design. Is there really a difference in that particular thing?
There is really, like, if you read online, but let's not deceive ourselves. The truth is the same. But if you read your textbook definitions of what a product designer is and what a UX UI designer is, they'll tell you that product designer, like, they are more business inclined, while UX UI designer, they focus more on the user experience, right? But ideally, I believe that as a product or whatever, so long as you are within that space of designing products, you should care about the business, because of course the business exists before, like, the business exists for the users, right?
Okay.
So for product designers, they are just you gotta focus on building designs that attract you and stuff like that. But for you and your designers, I just sack bad every designer, give us my money, man, they go my ass.
Not exactly. So for product designers, they have a mindset that, in as much as I'm designing for people, I also know that the business has to make money.
Yeah.
So if I'm making a decision, if it's good for the user, what's the value that the business will get? So of course, you can give a user a very good experience, but if the business is losing, they are not capturing value. After a while, they will not exist to get.
Yeah, let's
That's another day.
that's a whole different conversation. It's a long topic. So back to this whole remote thing, right? So the first question is, we have to define what's remote work, right? One, they have to define what's office work. They have to now define what's hybrid. If you want to start information is remote work, is even remoting. So okay, for you, right? I think this is to you. What will you define remote work as? What's remote work in the tech industry as a case study, right? What's remote work to you?
Okay, so basically, I'm not sure. In as much as I work remotely, right? I'm not sure I've even sat down to actually think of what remote work is. But based on my experience, right? Because of course, people would have like different definitions of what remote work is. But based on my experience, right? So remote work basically means that you are able to perform your responsibilities, right, from the comfort of not just your home. Like, you have the flexibility to perform your job requirements or whatever you need to do for where you work, regardless of location, from anywhere you want, right? Now, there's this part of doing it. I'm not sure the part of doing it anytime you want comes in when it comes to remote work, right? That's for freelancers now. You can probably get a client and work anytime you want. Like, you can do your work overnight. But for remote work, I think the part you have to be available within your working hours, right?
Yeah, that's like if you're working for a company.
Yeah, that's if you're working for a company. If you're working for a client, like, you basically have to work remotely now, because if you're a freelancer working for a client, you don't go see them now. Or have a
you
space.
get to pick when you want to work and things like that.
What about okay?
Okay, no.
Yeah, nah.
Do your thing, do your
What
thing.
about remote workers going to workspaces? Are you still a remote worker?
You decide to go to a workspace.
So you're not a remote worker.
So you're
No,
still-
it's remote
It's
now.
still a remote
You
work.
choose anywhere you want to work. You
Yeah,
like.
one day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when you were saying something right, I saw a fine print in your definition, right? So the fine print was you being able to choose where you want to work, where you want to work from, but you're not choosing the time you want to work.
That's if you are working for a company. I think remote work. Okay, so
So remote work
let's
is you
separate
choosing
this.
location, but not choosing time.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so great. I think that answered on. So then for office work, we all agreed you come into the office to work from the office.
No more.
That's office, so we can't
No
really
more.
disapprove that fact. Then for hybrid, we say you shuttling
Between
office and hybrid.
working from
So we have gotten it whereby so remote work is you choosing your location, not choosing the time you work. If you are working for a company, don't worry, you are not being dragged. Don't worry, you're not being dragged. Yeah. So
I was going to say something anyways. but
okay, no, yeah,
continue.
no, please,
No, I was going to say that sometimes, though,
Yes, I love
right,
those hot
depends
takes. I love
on
those hot takes.
no, it depends on your role, right?
Okay.
I know personally for myself, right? Like, I've done a design overnight. Of course, it's remote work. I'm supposed to do it during my working hours, but probably I was busy with other stuff I needed to do, and I just had to like, okay, we needed, and the timeline was really short, right? So I needed to work overnight to also deliver. So there's also that point where, of course, yes, you're supposed to work within the normal and sometimes it's we designers probably you shot yourself because you probably gave a timeline that is not realistic, so it's something you could do in 1 week. You said you could do it in 3 days. Now when you now get into it, you discover that not what I thought, right? So you want to now ensure that you
still deliver.
you deliver. That's when, so scenarios like that you may have to like work extra hours
You
to
just
deliver.
drive into my next question, literally.
Okay.
Right. So there's always been this battle, right? When people move into tech, the first they want to look is remote work, working from home. That's the big deal, right? But the question is, remote work, is it more productive than office work? So in your experience, you have done remote, you have done office,
Yeah.
you have done hybrid. Abi?
Yeah.
But I know that you
They're
have done those
everywhere.
things before. So just more confirming that you have done it. So for you, which is more productive, right? Who is more productive? Working in an office?
There's a lot of context to it because depends again on
Okay.
your role. So if I'm speaking from design or speaking from a developer's perspective,
Yeah.
then I can answer. But if depends, like some jobs require you to actually be in the office to do stuff, right? So let me speak based on my role.
Okay,
right?
yeah. I think that
So
works.
being productive, it also depends on your not role now, but your level, right? So if you are just starting, basically, you need guidance like more often to deliver on the task you're working on, right? And that would mean that if you're working remotely, you have to do a lot of DMs, right? And depends on where you're working. So I'm using a lot of dependencies here because it's remote, right? And companies vary, tasks, products vary, right? But generally, let me just say this so I don't dabble too much. When it comes to being productive or effective with remote work, for me, it depends on the company culture. Because
Okay.
if the company doesn't have the culture that ensures that, like their cultures means like policies, like you have to, like companies that tell you that if you have to respond when it comes to work communications, you have to respond within 30 minutes. Yes. So if 30 minutes, 1 hour, you have to respond when somebody sends you a DM.
Mad.
Right.
That's
And of course, and also communication, like communicate often. So when you are working on something and you say that you were stuck, question will be like, we have a culture where we over communicate. So if you are doing something, you are stuck, you're supposed to reach out for help.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends on the company culture to drive productivity and efficiency. So I think, but let me hear what you need you to say something. So
Yeah, so it's more like a question based on what you said, like being productive at remote work depends on your experience and all that. So I just want to ask one question,
okay.
and the question is more like, do you think those that are beginners, so like let's say a beginner developer, a beginner designer, working for a company remotely, do you think that can affect their career progression, or it's okay for a beginner, someone having their first tech job, to work remotely?
Well, for me, right, I think for a beginner, ideally try to be in the office. If it's get a hybrid or get a full-time role. Reason being that I will just use myself as a person now. So as you are starting out, you are most likely naive, right? And you're not
Yeah.
as bold as you should be when you have grown in your career, like maybe 2-3 years. You're just like few months into the role for design now. Right, so you may not be as confident as you would normally be to enter people's DM. Like probably you just want to enter maybe a senior designer or a senior developer or an SVP's DM to ask for something. So remotely you'll be thinking, oh, if I send this person DM or email, would they respond? Right? But if you're in the office, you can just look over and see that they are less busy and just like, hi, can I talk to you? Just let them know, right? I've personally had an experience where I was struggling. And sometimes remote work also help you. People can just walk over to you and see that you need help without you reaching out. Like probably you work in a team, probably you're a junior right now, you have like a senior designer who just walks over to your desk. Okay, why is there so much space in this, right? So you did not really ask to be mentored, or you did not ask for help, or somebody has seen that you need help. But if it's remote, you just be in your space.
Everything is upon you, no help, nothing.
Yeah.
So you say that sorry for cutting there, my guy.
It's fine.
Junior, mid-level, senior. Are you saying that the remote is not remoting based on your level? Because you mentioned you suggest that junior designer should do office. Then
I would suggest. So the reason why I said I would suggest is because you are just starting and you are not as confident to like enter people's DM. But if you are that type who is confident with buzzing people, right? Because some people you basically have to knock them off. Except, like I said again, back to company culture, they have a culture where where we help ourselves, right? If you know that this person is an intern or is a junior in your team, you don't let a day go by without asking them what's up, how was your day, what are things you struggled with, right? If you have that culture in place, then the junior would have that like that vibe or we want to always reach out to ask for help. But if the company culture is not there, like or you do whatever you want to do, I'm doing my job, you're intern, whatever task we give you, do it, right? So company culture, yes. Then also, I don't know, but generally I just think that people who are very early in their career, okay, just avoid to have a bit of feel of remote, target hybrid. Target hybrid.
Okay, let's say speaking from a company's perspective, right, or from a remote first perspective, because I think we're seeing a lot of people, we're seeing a lot of companies moving into remote. So after the whole COVID thing, most companies even shut down their office and say, fine, see what will happen there. Everybody go out, work from home, I beg, right? Even that's when we start this. That's when hybrid culture became a thing. Like, okay, fine, come once in a week or twice in a week to the office, right? So from my own perspective or from a company perspective, right? Like you have lead a team of designers. I'm sure of that. Yeah. Kinda. Okay, great. So what are some ways, right? Because when it comes to burnout, if you see someone on a physical hand, on the office settings, you know someone is burnout when you see them. You know this guy is he's tired. From the way he's dressed, the way he talks, you know this guy is off already. But in a remote setting, right? How do you figure out that this particular person on your team is burnt out, and how do you solve burnout on a remote end? Right, but by this point, you are not in the office. At this point, you might feel like, say, this guy, they lamb by you. What's up? Where is the this design? You give like, the good
steady lumber.
But nobody says that. Nobody will tell you that. Yes, it depends on. Wait, no, I'm going somewhere.
Hey!
Wait.
But the remote life.
Again, so my bad. No, nobody will say that. Yes, nobody will say that.
Maybe let me say me. I won't say that.
When it comes to remote work, I've seen someone. When it comes to remote nonsense, I've seen someone said.
Why would you say you are going through a lot?
Leave going through a lot. Yeah. I've seen someone said they are in the hospital.
And they are just hearing it for the first time.
Hospital image and everything. This my guy, they close to me. Yeah, literally, when I sit down here, the test manager say like something happened. I'm just you don't read to now wire drip.
Picture.
Drop the picture. Do one. Send and give and then snap emergency thing. The guy get format down when it comes to remote work. So there's only this thing when it comes to how do senior designers, how do team leads, right, know that this employee is burnout, and how do they solve for burnout, or how do they create a system whereby people won't get burnout in a remote setting? Because not to drone forward into this conversation, we have a conversation whereby the cause of what the issue what you want to
That was
talk about.
that was where I was even going to, because
that
for
was
somebody
it.
to get to that point where they have to start lying to you that like they're in the hospital. The toxicity of where they work.
It may not be.
It may not be.
It might be there doing like 4 jobs at the same time.
Also, cultural, no. So for me, in terms of that remote,
Why?
in terms of that remote, are people doing
Because
multiple?
that's another part too.
Yeah, one part to
Those
because
are
it's
working
remote.
for remote jobs.
Why remote jobs?
No, that's one of the cons of remote being
Go on and be
working
pro.
remote.
Cons for company,
Is that
pro
a
for
con
the
or a pro?
employee.
Is that a con or a pro?
So it's both.
This your are they watching this your
Wait. Oh yeah, wait.
You don't provide content.
Should I speak to this one now or
Yeah,
answer the
okay,
question?
yes,
Okay, no.
please.
Let
No,
me
that depends.
let me speak to this, right?
It's just okay.
So if you happen to work, so personally as a designer, I've worked like we basically do multiple gigs generally. I'm going somewhere. No, what I mean is you freelance and you're working for a company.
What's that you do?
You freelance and you're working for a company.
I don't do that.
That's
I work for
multiple
a company,
gigs.
company alone. One company.
So you don't do all that
I
stuff.
don't do that stuff.
But if you are freelancing and are you supposed to be working for a company? Are you supposed to be doing full time and freelancing? Is
If
it
you're working full time, are you
I
supposed to be
used to be
freelancing
freelancing
for a company?
for the company?
It depends. So let me speak to that.
You sign a full-time contract. Where the dependence is coming from?
Let me speak to that.
Okay,
I
let's
signed in
listen
my
to it,
contract with the company. I said I'll be working 9 a.m.
Full-time.
to 5 p.m. Right? That's what I signed for.
Yeah.
And I signed to work for Monday to Friday. That's
Was
what I
there a
signed
timeline
for.
on the was there a timeline on the
Yes.
for the contract? They got 9 to 5 in those contracts.
Yes. There's a time. There's a
No,
they're
No,
working
ideally,
hours.
It's
they'll
40
give you
hours
time.
per week.
They're working
what
hours,
else,
yeah.
That's the 9 to 5.
Mm.
40 hours per week. That should be the 9 to 5.
So whatever you do after that time, whatever
You
you
want
do
to
with your
kill
weekend,
yourself
it's
is
none
your
of their
problem.
What so
business.
whatever you do outside the 40 hours time.
Yeah,
So that means you won't do your freelance with the 9 to 5.
you're not supposed to.
But now they do am.
But you do.
I won't
Now
say
they
you now they do am.
Nah,
Yeah, there are people. Who do
Designer
it.
design.
Okay.
So yeah, back to
Back to the question. So what's like? How do you spot burnout?
Okay, so how do you so on a design lead perspective, on an VP end of things, right?
Yeah.
How do you spot burnout, and how do you figure out this burnout is really burnout, and how do you cope those burnout in a remote setting? So you can speak from a design perspective, from a lead perspective. How do you spot burnout for the guys under you, and how do you solve those burnouts for them? And don't speak for yourself. How do you solve burnout on a remote setting? Individually on a remote setting.
So spotting burnout. So first of all, as a team lead, one very important thing is to know your people.
Yeah.
Like not just know their capability and what they can deliver. Like know them. Meaning that. But you don't know people just once though. Like this person comes into a call and they are very active. They are communicating. Their vibe is on a different level, right?
Yeah.
So they come another day, their vibe is still on that level. They come another day, their vibe is on a different level. Like over time, you can start knowing this person's energy level, right? So you do that for different people and also their quality of work, because your mind, because as designers, basically designers, people in tech, most of what we do, it's brain work, right?
Yeah.
And if there's anything going wrong with your emotion or your psychology, it's going to tell on your work.
So the guy they give me since now the guy get issue.
Maybe they
You
go through
don't
outbreak.
take break up.
Maybe they go through outbreak.
This guy good normally.
Yeah,
But once in a
normal.
while, the guy the this kind of OP. So
So the quality of their work and also their communication.
good damn
For
this
instance,
guy.
okay, I think there's one thing I noticed. Like, so somebody asked me a message, sent me a message, and like, how you doing, right? I said fine. It was like when you say fine, I know you are not fine. So not people to the extent that you know their reply.
yeah.
No.
They can tell you great. How's your day going? Great. I say okay. Okay is just like almost something they saw, but we survive.
Yeah,
They
You're right.
get so.
right.
When you know how they respond, then also so different is their communication, their quality of work and delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I had that experience, right? I think okay, what even happened to me? I think was even the jackpot syndrome. Very funny. So in my former company, like
Jackpot syndrome.
yeah, let me. So in my former
Come to
company,
that.
right? Okay, what's jackpot? We don't know what jackpot is.
No,
Jackpot
well, we all
syndrome.
know-
That was
The Jackpot
It's very different.
In this what I'm trying to refer to, so I was at this company where people were like my guys, somebody just leaves the company and this person don't travel out.
Wow.
Like okay, so people live in the company, not like they leave or they just move or like. So he was like, waiting there. I did try now. Waiting the soap. Yeah. So what happened to me over time? So I needed to first of all, so that it got to me, I needed to deal with it because if I don't, it's going to it affected my work basically, right? So I had colleagues then who were like, guy, normally during stand-ups, we dey hear done, right? These were not even people I work with too, but now we dey hear not done. in progress. Normal stuff when they run normally, not done. So there were 2 female really. So they reached out like, Kutaji, what's up? Are you okay? What's going on? Right? So I had to open up to one of them. So in some, what I'm trying to say is that things get to people and you may not even know. So communication is one way you know. Their delivery. This person, when they first come, though some people share their first coming maybe just to impress.
Yes, to vote
just to give you back to back. So that's why you cannot really base on timeline and delivery. So different is check their communications, check their timeline, check the quality of their work. One way or the other, if there's burnout, it will show.
So how do you then deal with it?
So it depends on, which is one very important thing. You need to learn how to build relationship with people. Building like some call, make we no discuss work. Like, no be how far delivery, but how far you don't go design. You have fun now, I did buy your weekend day now. Like, try to have that connection with your people.
So
where they trust you.
Building one-on-ones, having one-on-ones with your team members.
But
it's not so easy, Sha.
There's this they have. See, now what I can work for you, I'm not be your brother.
That's another
not
thing.
A family.
So that's another thing now.
You tell me that we find on Friday, you let me up for Monday.
Not a family.
That's another thing. So I think some of those things can be spotted from the very beginning. That's where cultural fit. But it's not so easy to notice. But cultural fit comes in like. When you are joining the company, they try to check, are you someone who just wants to come and do their job, and you may be an excellent individual contributor, but that's not the kind of person we're looking for. We need somebody who can be like collaborate, right? So they would ask you. So when they're asking you questions that they are taking during those interviews you are having, they are checking how you like your responses, the stories you are telling. They don't know when you lamber. They tell better story, but they know when 2 and 2 know they add together. Those small gaps in between, right? So those kind of instances where somebody has the mindset of I just come here, come work. You can easily catch it from 2 things. One, well, that may not be true, Sha. I wanted to say their history, work history.
They wine.
Have you seen history before?
Have you seen?
Have history been made to you?
They log it for all the jump fence.
So I think if you can, so sports during the cultural fit section of recruitment, you can spot that. Then how do you now deal with it, Omo?
On individual, because it's remote. You're not going to. You can't say.
A lot of things.
Exactly. You can't say you want to. Give me leave for 2 days. Let me not come to the office. Omo, they come office before you theirs. So how do you then deal with that burnout?
So I think I can answer a bit to an extent based on my experience.
Oh yeah.
So I think dealing with burnout heavily boils, from what you have said, heavily boils down to the relationship you have with your people. So for remote work to succeed, you have to over communicate, and so you also have to build a relationship with people. It boils down to the responsibility of your manager to have regular one-on-one check-ins with you. Like the company where I work, I have one-on-one check-ins with my manager like every week, and then every 2 weeks our director also makes that check-in. And during those check-ins, it's not related to work. It's just how you doing, what's going on, how are things going, just to check on your well-being. So those ways you'll be able to tell somebody, okay, I'm having burnout or I'm having XYZ issues, and they'll be able to like, okay, what do you think we can do to help fix that? What do you need some time off? Do you need us to change the responsibility that you are doing?
Increase pay.
Do you need us to just something that can spark your productivity? Something that can spark your productivity, or something that can help you to go back to that your state where you have a clear mind to do your job. So those kind of things can help, but in the end, it still boils down to
the individual,
the individual, and also trying to make sure that, okay, you are not stressing yourself too much, so that you'll be able to give in your best.
Yeah, that part.
Awesome.
This one, you follow the vibe of the answer.
Yes, and I get that part. You're stressing yourself too much, everything, because that also can lead to burnout.
Yeah. Right? What about? Let's talk about office. We are all remote. I was doing remote work.
Yeah.
Is this still relevant? How you see the office vibe right now? You've done hybrid, this, but is the office life, is this still relevant?
This is feel office.
You feel the office vibes.
What
do you feel about it?
So there's a place for office work, really. Right?
Even to senior level.
But I think office work should not be, for me, right? I think office work should not be, what's it called now? Fixed. When I mean fixed, there are some times where you need to run some workshop, right? And depends. Of course, you can do workshop on FigJam, you can do on Miro, right? Yes, fine, good. Right? Yeah. But there are some workshops that and also a lot of things comes into like being in the office. We now going to talk about the part where we speak on whether office, like the pros and cons of being an office, remote. Should I go into that?
So let's compare office and remote.
Remote, okay.
Personally, to you, which one would you prefer?
Remote.
Okay, so you lamp out, You dey whine. Year one, you said if you just start your career in tech,
Work in the office.
work in the office, you will help your career.
I also said hybrid.
Wait, nah. Let me go.
Who asked me a question?
We go. We go watch a little.
Oh yeah,
it's okay. Year two, mid-level ish. You should do this hybrid thing.
Yeah.
It says it depends on your experience. On this thing, you cannot do remote. Then my guy asked you.
He gave me two options.
I gave you two options.
Okay, what do you prefer?
Hybrid.
Eh?
They why?
But you said remote just now.
You gave me two options: remote
said
and
choose
office.
I know you are. I know what you're doing. I know you're doing. But yeah,
So you want me to talk about You want me to talk about remotes? Compare remote work and office work.
No, see, it was just a personal
Question.
personal opinion.
He
around
gave me
it.
two options and I chose one.
Okay, you didn't
But
think
if I
about
had
it.
the third option, I'll choose the third one.
Okay, you had the third option. You choose the whole hybrid thing.
So you prefer hybrid?
There are a lot of
It depends again.
depends. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So let's dive back to where we have been before
Yeah,
regarding
depending
what Matthew was saying regarding the
Office work.
office work. Is this
Okay.
relevant
Oh, yeah.
for you? Is this relevant for you?
It's office work.
Or more just me, but see, if you didn't relevant, you didn't just
If
say
office work, so
say year one,
I
year
keep
two.
saying I keep
How you
saying it.
feel about time? Like,
Okay, what was the
you still
person's
feel the
thought
vibe of
on
office work? Exactly.
Forget this your context and independence.
No,
when you run
just
things.
leave context.
I know you are.
The reason why I cannot leave context, right, is because it depends.
Ha, Agba.
If
Agba,
if
Agba,
I
Agba,
if you
dependency.
if you want my advice, no, for me, okay, wait.
Let me
Okay,
go,
so
that-
It's
so let's
valid though, it's
assume.
valid.
No, yes,
So
yes.
so let's assume I am a founder, right?
Okay.
I can employ these three methods. Depends on what I'm looking to achieve for my
Yeah.
company at that point in time, and depends on the department. Like it depends on the strategy. For instance, I think if I'm just starting out as a company, I don't have the money, right, to start paying office space, electricity bills, and everything. Remote makes sense, and also starting up, I need access to top talents, right? Which, if I'm to focus on just a particular, let's say I focus on just Lagos or maybe Abuja, for instance, and I have an office there, I'm limiting my talent pool to just people in that region if I must be in an office, right? But remote work gives me the access to people from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And if I'm starting out, I can have somebody who wants to like work with me and not ask for pay because we're just starting out, right? It gives me that access.
We go good there,
we
no
be-
problem.
We begin
Work for you
to
for
work
free.
now.
That's
When I say work for free, if we are starting, nobody works for free really. I say if we are starting now,
Yeah.
without pay means that you get paid one other will be equity
which
or
other
something.
equity? I'll
Yes, now.
I'll go shop right, go say I get 2% for wireless
Yes,
company. Give me carton of Indomie. Sorry,
If you know what go now, first I go picture I give you that. No, but there are many. See, people like I define things for what's it called now, like in industry that this should be X, should be Y.
They want me to
Why-
gatekeeper.
why-
No, want me to gatekeeper.
I
But
think
see,
the idea of stating things as fact or putting a full stop, I think it depends because it just boxes things and it makes people just depend on like whatever scenario they are, they hold on to that thing and it may not be working for them really.
So this office and remote something, there are two perspectives. So one is from the founder or the owner of the company,
Yeah.
Okay,
and that's
then
the
next on the
company
employee.
itself, and the other one is from the employee. So you made mention like as a founder, this and
they
that.
speak
and
on founder well.
So-
None of the
so
think
let's-
us employees.
Let's assume that one. Let's answer the question
Yeah.
in two different ways. One, you're from the company. You are the company itself, or you are the founder. In what cases do you think you prefer that your employees come to the office? Because
Personally,
It's really of dependency a lot.
for me right now,
you still prefer remote. As
no,
a
wait
founder,
now.
you
You
prefer-
say wait, rephrase the question.
I mean, in what cases would you say
Your
that your
employees should do.
employees, everybody should come to the office?
Sharp.
Else, that would be your
no,
last.
I don't think I would have a scenario for everybody to come into the office.
Nigga, you
Wait
never
now,
work
wait.
with Nigeria people.
No, you're asking me now.
Like that
one
You
with some
say
people.
me. You say me.
Yes,
You not say
yeah.
people.
No,
Same.
basically you're a company. You're working with people now.
Okay,
You've been
you're
working with
working-
people. I said,
you,
I'll-
a
There are some
founder.
people that need to come to the office every
Okay,
day.
which
Like
people?
who? Like who?
Yeah,
I that to the main conversation.
Who are the people?
It depends on
You
the
don't come
product.
again.
Okay, for
Okay,
Fintech life
even
Africa
though we
well.
depending, give me instances of people that
People
Okay.
who use fintech as a case study. Now, full Africa where fintech.
fintech example.
I wanted to say like for cloud service
The
providers.
fintech,
let's,
Africa,
for,
fintech.
Now we don't specialize now, right?
Yes, yes.
Fintech.
Yeah.
yes.
So basically, for fintech rules, I think most of what they need can be done virtually.
Okay.
Mm.
So that instance doesn't really need anybody to be in the office. I'm trying to think of a scenario where some persons need to be in the office while others may not. Okay, let's say for instance, it may not really be true what I'm going to say now, but let me just say I was thinking of like customer support, really, like where you have to like book calls, take calls, and everything. I think
Of course, man, they do them online.
You
But you don't do
Yes.
office work before, Abi? Have you done office work in any part of your career?
no, I'm not done fully office work.
Oh,
It's
no,
hybrid.
this question they had
So you haven't done Monday to Friday office before?
at all in your
Steady.
from your
That was
junior.
very early, very early in my career.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to the
So,
office every day.
Because what I want to say is I know of some companies or some founders that have decided that everybody should be coming to the office. Why? Because when they said remote,
You wine?
some egbon, okay, you're a designer. So let's even take it to design. There are some designers you will work with. What is the status of this? At the Duam.
In progress.
What is the status of this? At the Duam.
50% done.
Bruh, this week at the Duam, next week at the Duam. You gotta force them come office, see them first. You can't say the document whenever they walk
They don't
on,
get access.
they don't get access to the document.
But I think why do you have to bring somebody to the office to track their work progress? Guys, see, it's okay. Wait. Let me speak to this. If I ask you a question, let's say I give you a task and you are working on it.
Yes.
Share your screen. We are working remote. No, share your screen.
Internet is bad. I'm having a break.
Internet-
Yeah,
no,
we'll
see,
talk about
wait
those
now.
small this thing.
Wait, there are ways we deal with these things. Internet, if your internet cannot be bad every day. Internet is bad. We pay you, right?
Yeah.
Get another service. Okay, fine. We can give you maybe stipend or something to get another service provider.
Yes, sir.
And if you get another service provider, your internet keeps getting bad.
Yeah.
Right? Depends, Sha. When I say depends, for instance, if a company, I work with a company that says that if your internet keeps getting bad or more, you have to go to the office. If your internet is bad at the office, we'll tell you that yes, that's our fault. Right? But if probably then the issue now be maybe the company does not have an office and your internet keeps getting bad, no problem. We've heard from you, but there are people who work from us from your region. Are they having the same complaint? X is not complaining of internet being bad. Why is not complaining? Why are you don't know complaining? We'll go face this. So the thing is, some things, right?
Yes, well-
I'm not calling you out, though, but
Yes.
numbers no they add up.
But what if we had to work from a quarrel? We
Equal
know
out.
they get network.
No, they-
The only way we can get
We gotta
network
go 3
is when you buy on Starlink.
Give us that.
You need to buy
So the
Starlink.
company has provide resources.
No,
for that.
so it depends. When I say depends now, it depends on the company may let you go because the work has to be done. If you keep giving
Fire you.
excuses, yes,
Mm.
because it's no longer their fault, and they give you internet like you have what you need to. You guys go, right?
So what do you think is the reason why a lot of these big companies now are, even Nigerian companies, they are requesting that those that are working remotely come back to the office.
Yeah.
They are bringing back the old office.
The old office
things and all
settings.
that. What do you think is the reason?
Why I bring people back to the office? Okay, so I think it's basically productivity, right? People are not, like you said, this scenario of people delaying on task and delivery. Right? For me, I work with a remote company, right? So I've had that instances where I've also led teams, right? I've had instances where if you are being stuck on something, and it keeps taking longer, guy, if it's remote, you have to share your screen. Okay, if you cannot, okay, know what? I will just say the company has an office in the location, for instance. Let me just say that because if I take away the office factor, then other things will come in. If your internet keeps getting bad and you are being blocked, okay, pick a date. Let's meet in the office and trash that issue. Right? So I think, any company that is having productivity issues with their staffs and who not delivering on tasks, I don't think coming to the office, of course, coming to the office would, because now you are there, you cannot, the same thing, literally what you can do in the office
Can do it.
Because
at
eventually the person will still be the one who will do the work.
home. Yeah.
You are
But-
just there to oversee
But,
them.
but is that sounding like coming to the office has an advantage of its own? I don't know if you're getting my point. The way you said, like, okay, if I'm having an issue with the task I'm working on, and then
Yeah.
for like a week or two, I've not been able to like complete it. I said I should come to the office, and I'm able to come to the
of
office.
course.
We meet together. We went through the task to find out the issue and all that, and we fix it, and all of that happened in one day.
Yeah.
Of course, me coming to the office. Don't you think I should be coming to the office every day just to work? So
Honestly,
that
companies that ask you to come to the office, you will not really blame them. But because if the people deliver remotely,
yes.
the company will not have a reason to ask you to come to the office.
Yes, the wine.
Mhm.
I've seen companies that the employees that they deliver
Steady.
steady. The father say like your life is still they pay money to. They don't say they give money to physically. So don't say they make about so. See what
I
I
don't
see
get, I don't get comments on those. I don't comment because my guy, why?
Okay.
But coming to the office is a lot.
Okay, so
It's a lot really.
from let's just use the end of this particular end of this whole thing, right? So, do you feel on the design perspective, right? I think you could see talking to that, right? Do you think office block creativity and innovation? That if they carry you, come sit down for
Office.
one place,
Yeah.
you go block your creativity and
will
innovation
block
when you design.
You want to, okay, yeah.
No, if I want to speak on that one there, it blocks creativity and
No, is it what you are you speaking generally or for yourself?
no, I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
Definitely. Our opinions are my own.
So-
No.
so-
Now me get my way to the talk. You know, say I just
That's
dey-
why I keep saying it depends. It depends.
No,
So,
opinions are.
based on what you answered just now, I want to ask one question. Is it the office that is blocking your productivity,
All I
or
need
is
block
you
your-
traveling-
No,
just
or
to
is
run.
it- or is
See,
it the
eh?
commuting to the office
That
that
is
is
blocking
blocking your
productivity.
productivity?
Okay, I think our guest said one thing. Wari said one thing. He said an office, right? It depends on. I like the way you just said that.
I
want you to
listen
listen,
to it.
Man, go rework your working back. Oh my God, let me not tell you.
Yeah, no.
Well, I love what you said in terms of like context and culture, right?
Yes.
It depends on your personality. Me, if I'm working with you and you dey look me, I can't work. You understand that as a creativity.
Yes.
So a confined space, like you are just putting someone in the box. For me, growing up, I like play. You know, worry boy, they like play around. So I'm not only that inside person. So if I'm working, you know, understand. So my own to you now is what's your favorite style of working? You know, you prefer, if not office, so you prefer work from like chill zone, travel route, work from the resort, or you like still, if you're a remote worker, you still like your house vibe or inside your parlor. You are giving they don't give you freedom. Now you are giving a choice,
Choose,
freedom. Or you are choose, or would you like to company want to sponsor your vibe, travel you out
I
to
see
do your
company
remote
sponsor
work?
vibe. Now date me. Man, Zanzibar.
Or you still
first.
prefer say, okay, company, all those money, you would give it to me that you want to work remotely from your
I think
house.
in terms of working, my number one thing first of all, when talking about like working in the office and distraction, productivity, and everything. Personally, active communication distracts me if I'm working. What I mean is that I can be playing music and I'm working. It doesn't distract me. But if two people are having a conversation, but it depends on what I'm doing really. If I'm doing actual design, there's no way I can tell my ear not to listen to that conversation. So someone like me, if I happen to be in an office space or a co-working space, I will not go to where people are actively having active conversation. I will go to a space where, okay, maybe there's just low sound, but there may be people there, or I can just go to confined space to work. Then there it depends also on what I'm trying to do at the moment. Like in design, there are some parts where you critically have to think about what you're trying to do. There are some things where you basically have the components and the systems, everything in place. You only just to pick and put it together, right? So for me, in terms of working in the office, if I will, you were the one who asked the question.
Like
The Mavis
does
rephrased
it?
it.
Yeah. Does it? How does it impact your productivity? That's what.
Working in the office.
Yeah, like between working remotely and working from the office.
For me, working remote is the best because there I can control the kind of conversation that happens. But working in the office, I don't know if it tell you say, guy, I fit tell you, sha, but like the same way you have ownership of the space or the office, that's the same. So
Yeah,
people are discussing, right? And you are trying to work.
But what if you
You
have
can't
your
say keep quiet. Oh my guy, I don't understand.
But
but what if you have your own office space in the office?
Your own cubicle.
Now,
They have designed
Okay,
a
no,
remote.
if I have my own,
questions,
I know where you're going to.
I have to.
If I have 2 office space, yes. If I have my own office space, I can work,
I
yes.
can work. You can
But
work.
I know you may want to now go to the part of if based on that I still prefer or I now prefer office work.
No, the
Oh, yeah,
question
oh, yeah,
I want
yeah,
to
yeah,
ask
you
is
want to go.
okay.
Yeah, you want to ask,
There's one part that everybody we've been skipping, eh?
Yeah, now.
Imagine say your office is there Aja for Lagos, so there Aja.
Ah,
Then you dey
commute.
stay first stack. They stay first stack. So how do you like cope with going from first stack to Aja?
Early morning
Office
talking
work
about it. Why I
logistics.
make
Well,
it
you know first
for-
stack. You know first stack in
Wait
Lagos.
first, let me finish. First of all, think how much are they paying me?
A pay 50,000.
How much are they paying me for me to traffic stress?
You look the salary first.
Yeah.
Listen, again.
Very important
I know I'm
question. Am I
dragging
not
you
spend
guys
on my
zigzag,
money
zigzag,
for
zigzag,
inside
zigzag,
commute?
right?
No way.
Okay.
Do you think unpaid disparity on remote and office setting? On your perspective, which one pays well?
Like
Remote
payment.
Yeah, remote to office. Which one pays well? Come to the office. Does come to the office pay more than doing remote?
That your question is a very interesting question.
Remote too.
No.
Oh, no, to be okay, yes.
Wait.
Depends on the company
It
you're working for.
Wait, no. This one doesn't.
It doesn't depend.
If I'm going to speak on
A
experience,
Nigerian company.
Okay,
A
Nigerian
company. Nigerian or let's say so focus on Africa,
These are
right? An African company. Working remotely for the African company, a Nigerian company, or working in the office. Do you think that impacts your salary?
I think remote companies pay more.
A company that has get the context now. A company that has an office in your
In your
Region.
vicinity.
in your
Town.
country,
Yeah.
right? Do you think there's a pay disparity for if you want to choose to work from the office or to work from
I can't
anywhere you
really
choose?
say. I don't know.
Some companies
I don't
do
know.
it too.
Hmm?
Some companies do it. I've heard of it before.
Based
I've heard of
on,
it.
Yeah,
based
so-
on this thing.
Yes,
if you choose to
that
work
if you
remote,
are
they pay you
working,
different
if you are
amounts.
working
Yeah.
remotely, your salary is 200k. If you are coming,
You get updates about those companies.
If you are coming to the office, your salary is 250 or 300, because they are trying to encourage you
They are
to
trying
come
to
to
bring you
the
to the
office more. So yeah, you then have to wait.
Final talk, sef, companies want office work.
They want to be seeing you.
No,
Don't they say
really.
they pay salary?
Initially, work started in the office.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Work starts in the office.
It was COVID that.
Tech
No,
work,
but
tech
some
work.
So even
companies
before
are already
COVID,
doing
before
remote,
COVID, sha, before
remote
COVID,
though.
yeah.
What about those companies like those companies like Twitter, turned X, we stop office or remote work and focus on office work. Elon Musk really encourage engineers to
Yeah.
return remote office.
And what
You
about them?
understand? Yes, so those kind top companies like this that encourage office work, what
I
was
think
your
really,
suggestion?
In my
After Elon did that, thing,
yeah, shut down.
every company start
Omo,
dragging
they
their employees
focus
back to office.
everybody go to
No, it
office.
didn't say they everybody minds before. They define one for get mind twice. Now,
So
no more,
there
now
are
you get mind
companies.
twice.
So are you saying that by default most companies prefer office? Because you've not even answered that question.
From
From
my
the
guy.
employee
Founders.
perspective.
To be honest,
Uh.
right? Companies, I believe that companies want employees to be in the office.
Because it impact productivity. Because you're productive while you're at the
Because you're
office.
productive, they do my work.
Employee give the excuse that in the office, like I was saying,
Yes,
it
man.
boosts creativity. It boosts creativity. That if it's in office, they cannot really. Someone look like it's
She
cannot.
will pay them the look.
Company is saying, it is that they do
If I
office.
dey see you, they do my work.
And they see and
Do
they
my
work.
work, man, they see am.
Employee they say, if I
know.
take office, I know they work. For others, they work. So it's like
battle
They lie.
the company and
one person they lie. Company is saying, if I see this guy for office, he they deliver back.
Back to back.
Employee they say for the office, I can't work. It's busting my creativity. I have to play around. Who they lie? But again, apart from that, right?
But
I think-
honestly, Shai,
I think this should-
so this is the industry right now. This remote work thing has made a really massive shift in how people work, right? And what's like, we have become before COVID. Really,
Yeah.
nobody will be giving you the excuse of. I'm not saying excuse or this. How do I put it now? Your mind or your body.
Yep.
Like I think in a previous in a company I worked with before, there was a time we asked to come to the office, right? Like every day. It was hybrid, like every day for the week, right? And after I went back to remote, I felt sick. That was because my system was already used to the fact that
you wake up 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, you don't enter
No,
bus.
man.
you get. So what I'm trying to say is that it's just change in the human nature. We have come to that point where our systems, our habits, our routines have been adjusted to fit into remote work.
Certainly, yeah.
And as such, we have, for those who are productive, have found a way to be productive remotely.
That's certain.
Now, when they now want to go back,
Yeah.
but honestly, to be fair, right? Going to the office before, people were taking it out of bullshit just to get things done. No, really, because you can be in the office. There's a lot of noise. See, the thing is, your people being productivity. I think companies see productivity as
Press your laptop.
delivering on your task.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You delivering.
You do
Yes.
not tax.
But I think it's for bigger companies.
Therefore, companies, for individuals, employees, all you not say productivity is for them. I think I've got
So
your
You said
definition.
companies
Yeah,
for
just
tax.
companies, what-
So for you now, maybe the press your laptop every
Individual.
time.
I think productivity depends on productivity means, okay, of course, you deliver on your task, but
Individual.
I don't think holistically, right, it should be beyond that. Are the people, so apart from delivering on your task, are you growing? What that simply means is that today, no,
A baby can't grow for you.
wait, no. People needs to grow. Wait,
People need to grow though.
let me say something. Let me
You
say
white?
something. Wait, now, let me
Not
say.
grow, employ that person.
You
don't grow.
no, you need to grow. The thing is, if we employ you to put like maybe to just, let's say, add one, and you keep doing that every time, right? Of course, people will, if it's a company that thinks growth, people will leave, right? So other people will come and meet that person still adding one and one together. There has to be a room for growth, because when other people come in, you need to be more equipped to be able to like
Support them.
to handle them and support them. You get. So if you see productivity as, which is what it is really, deliver on your task.
Yeah.
But I think you should go beyond that into growth.
Yeah.
This person today, right, and it brings joy to the company, and even when people leave, right. So this person today, they're able to deliver their task as a junior designer. But over time, I think if the design lead leaves, with this person can take over that role. I don't need to hire somebody else.
Yeah, I think I've seen the case of Money Points. I think that 7th employee that was, I think, was like a mid-level junior engineer. He's now the vice president of engineering at Money Points. So he spent like, I think it was like 6 to 7 years at Money Point right now. So the guy grew with the company. So I think this drags me to one conversation before we go to the final any part of everything, right? So do you think hybrid solves this productivity issue? Since they say companies say come and see what you they do for you, employees say no, they boss my creativity, can't work
just
here.
to balance everybody,
So do you
give everybody
think
joy.
hybrid solves it? Okay, fine. Okay, see, okay. More of us do okay. Do 3 in, maybe like offshore work, 3 days in, 2 days out. After they do they see they work. You think hybrid solves that? Hybrid solves it, or hybrid are just another lamba again, or even complicate your work schedule, or even complicate the
I think hybrid solves it.
How?
I don't have, because now it's like a middle point, right? Where we both meet ourselves at the middle, right? As a designer, or not as a designer, sorry, as an employee, you complain that you need your space to work, right? But also, as a company, you prefer that people be in the office. So I think hybrid solves it. But what I would just, in addition, what I would just say is that those hybrid companies and employees need to maximize hybrid scenarios. What I mean is that those times where the employees are in the office, right? That's when a number of things that would benefit from people being around should be done. I want to make mention of workshop, but I'm trying to see what's happening in my head right now. I'm trying to compare virtual workshop versus on site or in person.
On-site workshop.
But I'm not able to make any useful point there now.
But if you say hybrid, improves or balances it up, will you still suggest that hybrid improves mediocrity? Because, for example, employee if you say, oh, only when I go office I go serious. If I'm not there, I know too. If I did ask or if I did do remote, I go slow down work. So what you suggest is the hybrid, since it's improving or is balancing it up? Because there should be as far as the pro, there should be a con.
I
You
agree.
understand?
So I say to the Mojo like 4 days.
Mojo
now.
do-
4 days.
Like one of my guys, so you know he's
So moving on. What do you think in terms of remote, hybrid, and in person? Like, how do you think in terms of considering the future, the nearest future? Because you know, formerly, let's say 5-10 years behind, there was nothing like a remote
Nothing like remote.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
5-10.
It wasn't really. It was kind of there, but it wasn't really a major thing.
Like
Yeah.
Because everybody
we
practices.
Boss everywhere open.
So well, now that we've moved on from in person, and then we'll now
Now with the
consider
fights,
remote.
the fights
now
remote now,
consider
they go back
in-person.
to
What do you think will be like in the near future? Like how
future
will
of work.
companies will be in terms of the future of work?
In terms of the future of work, right? I think
What model will everybody adopt? Do you think everybody will go into working remotely, or everybody will just like more just they do the?
I think companies would still want to bring people into the office, but I'm not really against. That's why I keep using a lot of it depends, right? No, but I'm not going to say it depends here, but I'm not really against any one of them. I have my preference, yes, but what I'm saying is, as a company, use what works for you. But for some company, they insist on what they think will work for them. But what you think, for instance, now you may think that bringing everybody to the office will work for you. There are a lot of factors involved you have to consider, right? The point I'm trying to make is before you moving forward, I think companies should look at what if coming to the office will work for you. Don't just say yes, okay, let's bring people to the office. What will be the implications of that, right? So you have to look at yourself as a company, your staff, right, and people you have. If you are a remote company that have talents distributed from different parts of the world or different parts of the country, you cannot escape remote. But it depends also on, as a company, your direction. Are you looking to expand?
Okay.
Because some companies they are okay with just let them do this place. You get. So if they are that kind of company and you are fine with it, and you have employees who apply to work for you and they are fine with you just being that small,
okay,
it's fine. But if you're a global company, right, you cannot escape being remote. So apply it to your context, not just because anybody is doing it, right?
Yeah.
Then I think generally, if you're a company, or summing up, if you're a company that has like an office, right, I don't know how that will work, right, but I feel like there's a way I think you made mention of was it the salary thing? There are some things there are some structures you put in place that
to encourage
you will not compel people, but they will bring themselves by themselves to the office. So yes, really, they will bring themselves by themselves to the office.
Nigerian
Because we are
standards.
humans. Everybody has like a price and what? Not Nigerians generally.
Okay.
People will bring themselves.
So now in all of these things you said relating to the future of working remote of work, you've only made mention of as a company. What
As
about
an
you
employee.
as an employee, bros? You as
Are
an
you a
employee.
fan now?
What do you feel? Future of work.
Yeah, future one.
Are you a
Future
founder?
of work. What do
I
you?
want
Which
to be
do
a
you
founder.
prefer? And where
I'll
do you
soon
want
be a
to
founder.
move
You
to?
should be a
Future
founder.
one.
Now why they give
I
us
did-
only found out number?
They watch
so,
you.
Preferably,
Personally,
which one?
I
Personally, which one?
I
do you
think
prefer?
I think most of us should answer this question, sir.
Me,
Individually, yes,
I've been working
individually, yeah.
remotely since I started working remotely 2020, and since then, bruh, there's nothing you can tell me in terms of working in person that will convince me.
What the pay?
Yeah, you know, go work, we go hard.
Okay,
Go hard.
imagine
Because for me, there are so many advantages that I've seen in terms of working remotely, and one of the big advantages, I never imagined that in my career that I'll be working with people from different continents, and of which within a very short amount of years I've been able to do that. I've been able to meet people people from different countries, North America, Korea, Russia, US, Canada. Normally, if I'm working in person or working in an office, I would never meet these people.
Oh,
I won't
boy.
have conversations with engineers like that or get to meet them and learn from them. But remote work opened that for me.
Yeah, give us to the global market.
In terms of that, I believe those also contributed to my growth and development. That girl, you won't sacrifice that thing. Give me when I go leave remote work. So I want to know senior man
I
level.
want cash out now.
Yeah, please cash them.
Okay,
So-
cash me.
No, most of our people, right? Or I've seen lots of persons who travel out of this country
Yes.
to other parts of the world,
Yes.
and the companies they work for
In person.
ask them to come and
They
they go
whine.
to the
They,
office.
my guys, they upload steady.
Yes, now
You mean that
they are proud of
most
when
guys that
they go office.
most of them they go office.
Yes, now.
So are you say wait?
now
This-
that
this-
one
this-
catch up.
No.
Oh, but
So at the office. Wait.
No, but that's
have to-
very, Japan is a very
we have to-
different story.
We have to
now.
conclude.
We have to
Shall
wrap
we?
up.
We have to wrap
This
up
is not
because
going on that
we don't wrap up. We don't pause a new conversation because everybody keeps saying no remote, and if you check a trend of most Nigerians or
Then they go
Africans,
office.
where is Jackpot from here they go North America and any other continent,
Yes.
they go to the office and they're happy.
they do the office
It
work.
depends that you go if you go that side. If you are working
But-
for a country
but
like
now-
that,
now I
you
talk
be
say-
happy.
but now
You
talk
be
say-
happy.
Don't use
Okay,
depends.
let's go back to that
Talk,
example.
like you
Go back
talk,
to
but
that
don't use
example-
depends
to
just
that
now.
example where
Wetin dey
I
sup?
said about okay, office there at Ja, you dey stay first stack.
Yeah.
You know the traffic when you go pay when you face for that road.
But
And
you know
then
say
the
you know
transport
say
alone,
some
you are
kind
in-
UK some
you are
kind
in
some kind
Japan.
people wey dey go UK like this, some kind people wey dey go UK, some
Yes.
kind
Yeah.
wey dey use train.
Yes.
Train normally dey
How
take
many
time
hours?
o. Dey use things o. People wey dey go Canada,
They
the
have-
code dey there o. Every country get
You
their
have
own
to wait.
problem. You
Now
no
it's that
understand. So wetin-
for
Yeah.
them, they feel like okay, moving out of the country will give them with a better life, give them a better standard of living more than Nigeria. That no be question. That no be talk where una don't say we not supposed to argue or we not even supposed to talk. Calm down now.
Okay, wait. So
Country
So let's wrap up.
So-
Let's
so-
wrap up.
Let's go back to Wire.
before you cash
So
in.
personally, to you, which one do you prefer?
So personally, I prefer.
Not prefer, like the future of work.
I wouldn't answer
What do you
future of
think?
work now. We
Like
talk of
no,
future
you've not
prefer-
answered from your own perspective as an employee.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Future of work. So personally, I think it depends on. That depends. I don't use that.
It's a simple question, bro. Where
Now
do
what?
you think the world is going in terms of the future of work
For employees.
as an employee?
As an employee. But I'm not going to be an employee for so long. So
Oh God.
Hello, sir.
That's a senior man.
Are you an employee?
Senior man discussion.
Right now, not before so long. Right now,
Wow.
bros.
My guy dey think of the
The
future.
nearest future is tomorrow.
okay, so there's
what do you think?
Okay, in terms of the future of work, there's this type of work model that is emerging where companies are trying to be very lean, not just with AI now. Companies are trying to be very lean, and they are trying to have fragmented structure when it comes to having employees. What I mean is that contractual employees.
Okay.
So what that
Okay.
means is that you don't really have, of course, in all they're trying to maximize productivity, save costs because of the
Yeah.
economy, right?
Yes.
So they are trying to have, okay, this thing we're trying to deliver right now. Why should I employ? Because this is going to open something. Okay, let me just say.
No, open the door. Open the door.
No, the door
Go
when I
close
open,
and
I'm
small.
saying
Go close and small.
some in most companies,
Mm.
right? Depending on the kind of product, what most creatives, I'm not going to say designers and developers do is maintain. What I mean is, add button, move this thing from this, like the product per se, right? For 6 months, you spend time just maintaining the product, not doing anything new.
I think that heavily depends
But you
on
are
the
paying,
company.
yeah, that's why I say it depends on the product. But you are paying full, but you are paying the person full salary.
Salary, yes.
But what the person is just doing in a month, the person would like, if you say you want to pay the person the work what they do for that month, that person no carry any money go ask.
Oh my man, if you know company like that, show
founders,
me.
man.
Try show me that kind of company. I like work.
He drive
So,
this guy go employee.
So
He drive go back to the
Yeah,
founder
that-
again.
no, so in terms of the future of work, I'm talking about like employees. People want ownership of fractional work such that they are not tied to one company, right? I can deliver value for this company, right? And when within the next 6 months I don't have any value I think I can offer to this company.
Okay, you switched
Go
to
to somewhere else.
Yes, and company there's a platform. Okay, let's not do promo now. I wanted to mention a platform, right?
No.
That's trying to like do something like that to like have employees that if you can work on multiple projects, right, or with multiple companies, right, based on need basis. This company needs you to do this.
To do
Do
this,
it,
you
they pay
run
you.
it.
This company needs to do this. So that's why I see the future of work.
But
going for
employees.
won't working for multiple companies and different things lead to burnout?
No, not every time. Like in this, for the next 3 months, you are with this guy.
Then let's say
But what about that
Depends
context
on
of
what-
switching
That's
project?
contract
Because that's
based
very
work.
hard for creative work to be switching context of project. We most times we overlook or underlook it, but it's also important as well.
movement.
And so, like, in as much as that's where the future of work is going, as an individual, as an employee, you have to consider if it's something you want to flow with. Right? If it's something you're okay with, you can. But I think for designers, really, or even for, depends on the level of maturity of the company. If it's a company that has systems in place, you can easily plug in, do your work, and unplug.
Okay.
But for some company, no matter you're plugging it, you could die because
if we continue this question, we are way above. We are way above time. So I think I'll just push the question to you. For you, remote, hybrid, office, which one?
Remote 100%. I like travel the world, go to places.
I want to work from the mountain.
You know, understand? I like work from the river.
You don't work from the mountain.
Yeah, I go send you pictures. They work from the mountain.
So about you?
Okay, so for me, right, I think I'll prefer an hybrid model. Right.
So you still want to meet people?
Yeah, I still want to meet people. I've done this. I've done office full time, Monday to Friday. I enjoyed it a bit until life happened. Then I've done hybrid. I did hybrid because of transport. I think I was in Uyo then because of transport.
Okay.
So I did
you
hybrid.
Have transport. Please. No, let's be clear. You have to put in.
I don't get money. Transport not dey connect. No problem. No, it's my bad. My money not there, but that was growth. But I did it.
Thank God for life.
Thank God.
See where you are now.
Thank God for life.
Right, so I did the hybrid thing. I enjoyed it. Right, you just figure that Monday, Wednesday you are at work, so you just do the rest days.
Yes.
And that was good. Then if I move into full time remote, but now I think I'm lazy and I'm not sure I can do full time office, but I can do hybrid just to meet people, talk, worry about the office. I'll be the person that'll be troubling people like this that said coming to that screen, other noises.
So you're part of the problem in the office.
Thank you very much for watching Mountain Podcast. Please do it to subscribe to the YouTube channel, go on Twitter, go on X, go on TikTok, and just talk about it. And you could follow our guests. What's the socials?
Kutajbaba on Twitter.
Kutajbaba on Twitter, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then you could follow our amazing co-hosts.
Code Jagaban everywhere.
You want to change that name?
Nah, I'm still the Jagaban of code now. So.
You changed that one time before.
I'm still the Jagaban.
Still Jagaban
of code. Now you talk part two.
I said Tinoops of code.
Okay.
What's the socials?
Oh, my social is at Mavis Dosa.
Okay, and you can follow me on Timothy_OVI on every socials. And see you at the next episodes. Nothing podcast. Nothing_Africa on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Peace out.
Thank you.